Hello everyone, Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. And today we're going to do a Taroscope for the month of August for the sign of Virgo, So of course, August is actually the time when the sun is in Virgo. At least it starts in August, right? So let's take a look at the astrological, just general astrological picture. This month we have a, okay, let's see, the sun goes into Virgo on the 22nd of August, in fact. It goes into Virgo on the same day of the full moon. However, the full moon, the sun is in Leo. So we have, at the end of Leo, we have a realization, and then the moon moves, the sun moves into Virgo. So whatever revelations come up with that full moon, we get right to work, right? Virgo gets right to work. So that's happening. Let's see. Mercury moves into Virgo on the 11th of August, and of course, Mercury is a planet that rules Virgo, so it's a very good position for Mercury in Virgo. And of course, Mercury in Virgo is about discernment. It's about making the necessary adjustments, you know, nose to the grindstone kind of thing, which of course you Virgos know all too well. And let's see, is there anything else in Virgo? I believe Venus is in Virgo. In fact, Venus moves into Virgo I believe at the end of July. Where are we here? Venus moves into Virgo on July 21st and is in Virgo until, where is it? I just saw it. Sorry, guys. The 16th, when it moves into Libra. So we have Venus in Virgo as well. And I believe we also have Mars in Virgo, but that might not, let's see, when does Mars go into Virgo? Hold on. Mars goes into Virgo on the 29th of July. So as August opens up, we have Venus and Mars both in Virgo. Then we have Mercury go into Virgo, and then we have the sun go into Virgo. And so, you know, there's a lot of Virgo energy here in the month of August. So let's see what that's going to mean for us using the tarot. Now, I've had this deck. I'm using a deck that, unfortunately, I don't know the name of. I've had it for years, but I don't know the name of it. So if you guys recognize it, you can remind me what it is. I probably have the book somewhere in my annals, but I've probably had this deck for at least 20 years. So, you know, when you get into tarot, you go through this period of time when every deck is like, woo, I got to get that deck, right? So I have a lot of those over many, many years now. All right, we start with the Five of Rods. The Five of Rods here. Okay, so we're starting with some chaos. We're starting with perhaps some the Five of Rods is chaotic, but it's also super creative. It's the Five of Wands, right? And Wands is creativity, and Five is about freedom. So there's this almost it's almost like you're arguing for the freedom of your own creativity. It's like, and you're going against people, so other people, other ideas, but that whole sort of energy can actually stimulate creativity and sort of get you out of any kind of box you might have put yourself in or you have been put in by others. And we have what's crossing it is the Knight of Rods. The Knight of Rods is somebody who has an idea, somebody who has a point of view, somebody who wants to put their point of view out there. Now, is this you? Is it you who's trying to put a new idea out there, or step forward on something you believe in, right? And that might be causing the ruckus. Is that what it is? We have the Seven of Pentacles, which to me, this card in the tarot is actually associated with Taurus, but I think it's such a Taurus Virgo energy here, because somebody's working really, really hard and sweating their, well, and everything but their belly off, it seems. But there's this sense of, at the root, you're not quite ready. Things are not quite far enough along for you to feel like this is a time to step forward. But we'll see what that means. In the past, we have the Six of Pentacles. So this is about the balancing of the scales, money being given out. This could even be the, if we look at it from the perspective of certainly what's happening in America, is, the government giving out money for people to help support them. But there's also this energy of having your needs have been met, your financial needs or whatever, in the past, through your endeavoring to do the best job you could. In the sky, we have the High Priestess. The High Priestess is about things that are unknown, really, hidden things. This is about knowing and keeping silent. So it's possible that a secret will be let out, some sort of secret. Or the High Priestess is also your capacity to use your intuition. So it may be requiring you to utilize that part. And intuition is, I won't say it's unknown to Virgo, but Virgo tends to work on a more logical plane, right? A more logical plane. So it's a little harder for Virgos to sort of get out of their head in that sort of logical, methodical, Mercury ruled way, and to actually trust a hunch. And we have the Eight of Pentacles in the immediate future. So the Eight of Pentacles in the immediate future tells me that you've actually done enough work. That you've done enough work, and that a lot of the work that you've done has been very repetitive. There's a lot of repetitiveness in the Eight of Pentacles. And in fact, the Eight of Pentacles is a card associated with the sign of Virgo in the Kabbalah and in the Tarot. It's associated with the sign of Virgo, and it's located in the Kabbalah in the Sephiroth Hod, which means splendor, and it's associated with Mercury. And so you have done your due diligence, despite the fact that you're not really sure that you've done enough work. I think this at the root is an energy in Virgo where they're so busy toiling that sometimes they don't see the bigger picture. Everything is almost too microscopic, right? So here in the how it's seen from the outside, we have the Page of Swords. This is interesting because the Page of Swords was in the Taurus reading as well. And here this person has their sword and they're holding mushrooms, right? Oops. So mushrooms, first of all, they have a lot of B vitamins, so they're very healthy to eat. Very good for your nervous system and very good for your brain. But there are some mushrooms, and I don't know if these are those type of mushrooms, that can actually expand your consciousness. Expand your consciousness. So there's something, an idea or something, an expansion of consciousness that is And I think it's connected to the High Priestess. So I think that, well, let's continue. I want to think. I think. This is your domestic situation, the Emperor. This says that you're in charge of your environment, that you're in charge. You have agency in your environment. So be assured that within your environment, you have the agency to make the choices that you need to make. Okay. Hopes and fears is the wise one, which of course is the Hermit card, which of course is associated with Virgo. So you hope that you're wise, and maybe you fear a little bit that you're wise. But the Hermit card is just that. It's hermiting away. There may be a part of you that would like to just hide from this. This is not something you want to deal with. And we have the Five of Cauldrons, which is the Five of Cups. And so there's some loss here. There's some loss. There's emotional, a lot of sorrow. This is sorrow. This is grieving. But you can see that this child is holding up a cup behind him, and he has a cup next to him. So there's a need to grieve what you need to grieve, whatever that means for you. But remember to see what you still have to build upon. Let's continue. We have the Four of Cups. This is rest and relaxation. This is healing. This woman is offering this man who's actually sleeping and trying to rest some help here, right? Maybe some healing. So there's a process of healing that has to go on with you guys, Virgo. With you guys, Virgo. Listen to me. What kind of language is that? The nuns would be appalled. There's some emotional stuff coming up for you guys, for you folk. The sun, illumination. So something is being revealed. This is revelation, but it's around emotional upset. Tower, underneath it all. The Lovers, and the Ten of Pentacles. This was underneath it all for Taurus as well. So, what this seems like to me is that you may be having a Tower moment. Is that this card? This card, okay. Right? Something is revealed, an uncovering of sorts. Remember, the High Priestess was in the sky. So I do feel like there is something hidden that is revealing to you. It will rock your world. And it will make you choose differently. The Lovers card is about lovers, but it's mostly about choice. The choices that you make. You're going to make a different choice because of this. And then ultimately, we have the Ten of Pentacles, which is, of all the Pentacle cards, it's probably the most beneficial. You know, we have the Seven of Pentacles, which is, you know, I'm working, I don't feel like I'm right, the Seven of Pentacles. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles, which is building and building and building. But there's a certain amount of, like, in this card here, thank you. There's a certain amount of drudgery associated with this card, but in the ultimate end, it works in your favor. So, it's very possible, as I look at these cards, that what is happening, at least in the initial phase of this Five of Pentacles, is there may be some sort of betrayal of some sort. You know, you work hard, you do your due diligence, you're the best worker in the place, and you still, it's not enough. It's not enough. And that is disturbing and and ground shaking. You're like, I've done, like very often with Virgo, it's like you have this sense of I've done everything right and I'm constantly improving things for everybody, and then they turn around and they either don't see me, or they take credit for my work, or whatever it is. There's some sort of betrayal in the scheme of things, but this, what it's doing is it's opening your perceptions. Remember the mushrooms, right? What I would suggest through this period is to do things that will support your nervous system. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is associated with the nervous system. So you have to make sure that you're getting enough B vitamins. Make sure you're getting enough rest. Make sure, because you're going to go through some pretty emotional things. So be prepared for that. And I'm going to do the sacred geometry cards for you guys for the oracle. So let me just open these. So we're doing the sacred geometry oracle deck by Francine Hart. That's what I'll be using for Virgo. So let's see what the oracle has to say. We'll pick 3 cards like we did with Taurus to further elucidate what came up in the card reading. Okay, one more. 3's a charm, as they say. Okay. All right. Transmutation is the first card. So this is a transformational energy. You are transforming. Offering. And together. This almost looks like the Lover's card, doesn't it? Okay. So transmutation. Transmutation is about change, and I'm going to read from the book because, as I said, I don't use these cards a lot. It says this card reflects multiples of 6-sided geometry. Oh, sorry. Here we go. Let's see if you can. There we go. It is space, power. It is space, power, time transmuted by consciousness, representing the energy's forms, fire and lightning, nuclear and solar, all active and dynamic, but transmuting form to something very new. Pulling this card suggests that there's a dynamic change at work in your life. And of course, the first card we pulled was the 5 of Wands, which is about change. It is about change. This change is beyond what you have experienced before, and it promises to transmute the very core of your being into someone you might not recognize from your present perspective. Hence the Tower under all of it, right? The next card is offering. And this card, interestingly enough, talks about creative development. The geometry of the flower of life and the colors and positioning of the human chakras is in this illustration suggests that you are at a stage of creative development. As you work with sacred geometry, you may have the experience of receiving information that is beyond the realm of rational thought. Some call this experience channeling. Listen and record the messages and information you receive in whatever form appeals to you. That is the energy of the high priestess in the heaven, right? In the sky position of the chart. And then the last card is together. And this is about balance. Okay, this card is about balance. It says, The geometry of the fruit of life and the star tetrahedron inform the message of this card. These symbols enhance the intent of balancing male and female aspects. Balance sharing will become co-creation, and it will demonstrate a holistic way of interaction. You are seeking a greater balance in relationships. And it's very interesting because didn't the what do you call come up in that? The lovers, yeah. So this sort of looks like the lovers card. So this card I feel correlates to the lovers card. This card correlates to the high priestess card. And this card, of course, correlates to the tower, which I believe, except for we had the sun and the hermit, were all, cards that we pulled in the deck. So, wow. So Virgo, it's going to be very interesting. It is going to be upsetting. I am not going to blow sunshine up your butt. But ultimately, it's going to serve, all these changes serve to wake, not just to awaken you, but to awaken you to your own co-creative power. Virgos are amazing. They're amazing, but they have to learn to trust their own instincts on things. And not just in that sort of mental Virgo way, which is very, very helpful, but also, fostering that more intuitive side of yourself, and balancing it. So you're balancing the reason with the magic. And that is the feminine and the masculine coming together. And that is the co-creation that will get your creative ideas moving forward. So the challenge is, how do you get your creative ideas moving forward? You need to go through this process, and it is this process of transmutation. And while it's not going to be necessarily pleasant, it's necessary. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Like and subscribe, and I will see you again next month for your Taroscope in September. You'll be fine. There is support. There is support, and I think it's going to come from places you least expect. And maybe when you're not even looking. So accept the help. It's not all on you, Virgo. It really isn't. Much love. Namaste.